So, we have some Montreal Canadiens signings, plural, to go over here. And I know there has been one particular contract signing that everybody in Montreal and in Habs Nation has been waiting for that hasn't happened yet. Everybody's checking out the Twitters, everybody is checking out social media, everybody wants to see Lane Hutson get his deal. And even though there are some interesting things to watch during the prospect scrimmage and other things, everybody is paying attention and hoping to see that Hutson contract. It hasn't happened yet, though. We're scrolling around here and just kinda taking a look at it. But these are the signings that I wanted to talk about here today. This actually happened yesterday. Sean Farrell, Marc Del Gaizo, guys that the Montreal Canadiens added with 1-year, 2-way contracts. And then, of course, earlier today, William Trudeau ended up getting a deal as well. And let's just get it out of the way here first. Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens have agreed to terms on a 1-year, 2-way contract with William Trudeau. And, yeah, we're not going to address that. We are not going to address that. So, you know what? Actually, let's talk about the guys that signed yesterday, just because this totally slipped under my radar in talking about guys that had signed contracts and that were coming back. This totally was not something that I ended up seeing. There are just too many other things that happened yesterday, so I totally apologize for not covering this in a video during yesterday's show. But let's dive into these two players, Sean Farrell and Marc Del Gaizo. Starting out with Farrell, 23-year-old Montreal Canadien. Oh, look at that. Thank you to Di Hui Fan for the subscription here. Nice to see that Wolf of Wall Street gif popping itself back up again on the computer screen here. But Sean Farrell has himself a contract, 23 years old, Montreal Canadiens prospect, small guy, 5'9", 174, left-handed center, left wing, and he was drafted by the Habs in the 2020 draft, 124th overall. It's kind of weird, man, thinking about how this guy has been in the Canadiens organization for 5 years now. Man, time flies when you're having fun. But Sean Farrell was drafted out of the Chicago Steel. He ended up having an amazing season after being drafted, 101 points in 53 games played. He then made his way over to Harvard University in the NCAA, posting up a stellar 53-point in 34 game season with the Crimson in his second year. He then played for the Canadiens, 6-game sample, scored his first NHL goal at the end of that 23 season, then spent the next 2 years in Laval. Make no mistake about it, Sean Farrell, during his prospect development days, was one of the hottest Montreal Canadiens prospects and a guy that we kept on labeling as one of the most underrated prospects in the NHL, period. This guy was stellar. The only problem was, over the next few years, he wasn't fully able to be one of the top Laval guys, and there were just other Canadiens forward prospects that were bigger and more, let's just say, mature to be able to play in the National Hockey League. I'm thinking of the Emil Heinemans, the Oliver Kapanens, the Josh Waas, a bunch of other guys ended up overtaking Farrell in the depth chart and getting immediate NHL time over Farrell, which wasn't necessarily his fault, but still, he's a prospect that did explode for Laval in the playoffs, this most recent Laval Rocket run, so obviously there is value here, and he's only 23 years old. There is a chance that Sean Farrell can crack the Canadiens roster. It's just, at this point, he's going to really have to have a good camp to make his presence known and to actually break out onto the team. I think a lot of Canadiens fans were super excited during this development time where he was absolutely torching the USHL and NCAA. It's just we didn't end up seeing that translate into the pro hockey ranks as much as you probably would have wanted to. So he gets himself a one-year deal, $775,000. Meanwhile, we also saw Marc Del Gaizo sign with the Canadiens too. 25 years old, 5'11", 187 left-handed D-man, initially a Nashville Predators draftee, 109th overall. Marc Del Gaizo did make himself known on the Predators this most recent season, getting 9 points in 46 games played, 2 goals, 7 assists, and throughout the course of the Nashville Predators season, he was roughly in the middle of the lineup. I mean, he was like at 18 minutes, 20 minutes, some 21-minute games tossed in there. He was up and down, NHL, AHL, NHL, AHL. Particularly important, though, for the Predators and their farm team. He became a free agent and then had signed with Montreal. I don't want to make it seem like Marc Del Gaizo was a full-time NHL caliber defenseman, even though he did play 46 games in the league this most recent season. It's going to be hard for him to break out onto the Montreal Canadiens over guys like Jaden Struble, Caden Gooley, Arbor Xhekaj, and of course Lane Hutson and Matheson. So it's going to be quite the fight for the Montreal Canadiens blue line, and we'll just have to wait and see whether or not Del Gaizo has what it takes to break out onto that squad. This is a pretty bare bones scouting report. 2013-14 team, the New Jersey Rockets 14U. That's all it says over here on the Elite Prospects page for Del Gaizo, but he's an interesting enough player that I think has had better days producing some points, more of a two-way guy more than anything. So I don't think anybody should be expecting top-tier point production out of him. But if he can be a stable force on the blue line, he can be a just calming presence, then I think that will be meaningful for the Canadiens and or their farm team. $775,000 contract, though, so it's super cheap. It's not like the Canadiens are taking any risk with this contract. And finally, let's talk about the last guy that the Montreal Canadiens ended up signing. It is William Trudeau. No, not William Nylander, William Trudeau. Here we go. So 22 years old as a prospect, also drafted by the Habs in the 2021 fourth round. It's kind of weird. This guy's been in the organization for 4 years as well. 6'1", 205 left-handed defenseman, a guy who has primarily been noted as a, let's just say, two-way force as well. He was never really the most productive guy either in the AHL or the QMJHL. I'll admit, though, he did have a pretty stellar first year in the American Hockey League. 27 points in 60 games, that's not bad at all. This is what the scouting report says for Trudeau. This D-man responds to the forecheck with confidence, making the difficult plays under pressure so that his teammates don't have to. His effectiveness comes from frequent scanning before getting the puck and from a combination of physical skills and deception. Trudeau can separate opponents from the puck, extend his limbs to protect it, and get off the wall with a handling fake and a short pass. 6'1", 205, left-handed defenseman, 22 years old. And if you take a look at the Elite Prospects scouting report guide that they have for William Trudeau, it does go out there and describe his shutdown qualities and just his overall kind of two-way ability too. Puck moving, engaging abilities. He had some weaknesses though. Despite showing projectable elements in his in-zone defense, awareness, physical closeouts, and switchability, he is more of a two-way calming presence for the Laval Rocket, and now he's back onto the team with a one-year deal. So the Habs signed themselves some one-way contracts over the past day and a bit. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about William Trudeau? What are your thoughts on Sean Farrell and Marc Del Gaizo all signing the dotted line with Montreal? Sorry for not talking about these two guys yesterday, but that's just how the show crumbles today. Let me know in the comments all your opinions about both of these contracts. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.